Ladies and gentlemen, the situation with opioids in the city of Philadelphia is so bad. They decided to open up what's called a safe injection site. This is a location where people can go and do their illegal drugs in front of a medical professional. So if something happens to them, they can revive them and make sure they don't overdose. We know they definitely did not have anything like this during the crack epidemic. I mean, let's face it, we know why they're setting up these injection sites. Well, Philadelphia is running into a bit of a problem with the feds. So this came out April 4th, 2019. Opioid plague in Philadelphia pits feds against effort to open first in the nation drug injection site. And we know there's similar ones to it. I mean, they've been doing this forever. So, in other words, a legalized crack house for the opioid drug users. The U.S. attorney in Philadelphia and a high powered nonprofit are embroiled in a legal battle over the organization's plan to open a supervised drug injection site to try to rein in the city's raging opioid plague. And it's bad in Pennsylvania. See, that's why they were doing things like giving out free Narcan to everybody, because it is so overwhelming for the police and EMT and fire department. They are now trying to get the public involved in helping, which I don't think is a safe thing to do, but that's my opinion. U.S. Attorney William McSwain said Wednesday that his decision to challenge the effort by the group Safe House to open the first in the nation drug injection site was a matter of following federal law, normalizing the use of deadly drugs like heroin and fentanyl is not the answer to solving the plague, Swain said. The issue is especially critical for Philadelphia, which has the highest opioid death rate of any U.S. city. Yeah. Um, when the governor declared a state of an emergency, it was raging across the entire state. That's how bad it was. It was no county in Pennsylvania that was not hit by this opioid plague. Okay, so the issue is especially critical for Philadelphia, which has the highest opioid death rate of any large U.S. city, with more than 1,000 deaths per year, nearly 4 times its homicide rate. I mean, yeah, this thing has surpassed homicides, car accidents. I mean, everything. Everything. That's why I chuckle when these trolls keep coming around talking about black on black crime. There are more people dying on opioids than black on black crime. And that's really the response you should be giving them from now on. As soon as they come talking that black people are violent and black on black crime, you tell them to do something about their opioid plague, and more people die on opioids than people that die at the hands of other black people. It's a fact. Philadelphia Health Commissioner Thomas Farley has called the opioid plague the largest public health crisis this city has seen in a century. Remember, it was a century ago when the opium epidemic was going on in the country. So this is like a really a second wave, but remember drug addiction in America has never seen a break. It just switches from drug to drug and the death rate continues to go up. In its response to the federal effort to block the center, Safe House argued in court papers filed Wednesday that it would not be providing illicit drugs to its client, but instead would provide sterile equipment, counseling, and access to medical care. That sounds like an excuse, y'all. So they still have to physically come there with the illicit drug. You know, so if this is what they're going to do, the next time you get caught with drugs, people in the black community, tell them you were on your way to a safe house to do your drugs. I mean, if you're going to let the opioid addicts get away with this, you should let everybody get away with it. Why not just let anybody come there and do the drug of their choice in front of you? Why are you limiting it to opioids? I can tell you why. Because the face of the opioid addict looks like theirs, Caucasian. That's why. This is why they have given amnesty to the opioid addict, but no one else. How come they won't give amnesty for weed? They got all kinds of people locked up in prison around America for non-violent drug offenses because they can't get you in there any other way. Why not give them amnesty? See, because there's a certain kind of prisoner they want in there to do that labor. Just not their people. Their people get amnesty in safe houses. Our people get non-violent drug offenses and long prison sentences to get that corporation work done. But these are the same folks that want you to tell, they want to get in your face and tell you to trust their system. Your system don't deserve any trust. This intervention will not solve the opioid plague, but it will provide a critical life raft, Safe House told the court. It notes that more than 30 years, not a single fatal overdose has been reported at any of the 120 similar sites that operate openly worldwide. For its part, the federal prosecutors argue that safe houses conduct is prohibited by federal law, and that it does not matter that Safe House claims good intentions in fighting the opioid plague. Safe House, whose board includes such heavy hitters as former Pennsylvania Governor Ed Rendell, is trying to raise almost $2 million to open the injection site is this spring. So they want to open it, and it's going to be in downtown. Wow. I just can't believe this is going on. A legalized crack house. So they want to open it this spring in an open air drug buying area north of downtown. So they want to purposely put this site in an area that has heavy drug activity. Now, the Philadelphia District Attorney Larry Krashner says the aim was to provide aid at a center for people who face serious medical problems because of their drug use. Wow. I mean, crack was really bad over in the city of Philadelphia back in the day, y'all. I didn't hear anybody come out for a crack addict. Nobody came out for them. They went straight to jail. The only thing they would show you back then was them using the battery ram to bust down the door. And then once they got in the house, what they would do is if there were any dogs or cats or any animals in the house, they'd shoot them in the head. And if crack was found in the house, it doesn't matter if your grandma was in the house at the time, everybody got arrested. That's how they handled the crack epidemic. But for opioids, they want to open up a safe injection site so they can bring their illegal, illicit drugs, sit in front of somebody and do their drugs and not go to jail. We haven't seen them round up opioid addicts and put them in jail at the same level that they did during the crack epidemic. If somebody is in a house full of people and they overdose on opioids, they go in that house and help that person with Narcan. They don't arrest everybody in the house just like the crack epidemic when they did that. I mean, they are just blatant with the double standards. We are not going to prosecute people who are trying to stop people from dying, Krasner said after Swain's announcement. We had 1,200 people die last year. I think it is inexcusable to play politics with their lives. Safe houses. Safe House says its staff will include medically trained professionals, social workers, case managers, and certified specialists in recovery techniques. The staff will be trained in CPR and the administration of naloxone, a medication designed to rapidly reverse opioid overdose, it said. Safe House plans to push ahead its plans, despite federal opposition, Rendell said. There is no harm that comes from a facility like this. And if we save even on the low side 25 lives, isn't that worth it? No. 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 Because you know what? The whole thing should be scrapped, y'all. Why? How are you justifying saving opioid addicts, but you're still jailing people for drug addiction that are using non-opioids? You know, that's an argument that should be raised. They are putting a high amount of black men in prison for weed. But you are keeping somebody on a heavy narcotic out here in the public for, you want them to be free. You want a narcotic addict to be free and someone on weed to go to jail. I tell you what, this is definitely an upside down world. And this is a thing that really should be challenged. How do you label opioids as public health, but all other drugs that people are using out here, you are not labeling as public health? How are you getting away with that? That's what I want to know. How are they getting away with that? So only one drug falls under public health, but the other drugs that people are doing out here, they should go to jail for that. That concept alone should be challenged all across this country. We don't even have the same impact on a person than opioids. You don't have to revive anybody on weed with Narcan. You know, ladies and gentlemen, just understand, when the face of the addict change, the whole attitude towards drug addiction suddenly changed in America. They were not feeling this way during the crack epidemic, and the crack epidemic really was not that long ago. But they expect us to feel something for these addicts, get out here with our Narcan and run around in the public saving them. You didn't save us. You jailed everybody. But we know why you're doing it. And I hope these sites get shut down, because it is just another sign of preferential treatment in America. That's all the safe injection house is: preferential treatment. And you don't deserve it. Please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen, about this story. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.